Hi, I'm Bassam. I'm walking down to Carey Boulevard in NDG, headed over to Cafe Orange to have brunch with our old friend, Sugar Sammy. And Sammy's always got a lot on the go, so I'm looking forward to catching up. Anymore, right?
No, I live here. I live in NDG.
I just feel like so much of what you've developed your comedy out of seems so rooted in Côte d'Ivoire.
It is, but I live here now. It's right 2 minutes away. Yeah, it's right. I live right next to Villa Maria Metro. So I still stay in the area. I do all my shopping in Côte d'Ivoire. I really want to just keep bringing traffic into that area that I love so much. You know, Plaza Côte d'Ivoire is a free for all. They have stores in there that don't even have a license, that aren't registered. It's cash only.
I feel like your comedy would be the same if you weren't from Côte d'Ivoire. I feel like it's such a specific place to grow up in.
I don't think I would have been the same had I not grown up in Côte d'Ivoire. I actually consider myself fortunate to have grown up there. I grew up learning about different cultures without even knowing that I was doing it. Like, you know, I have friends I play hockey with, and I knew why some of my friends couldn't play on Fridays, because it was Shabbat. And I knew when it was time for my Greek friends to go home, because you'd hear their mom yelling from 4 blocks away. Andrea! Helado! Anastasia! Helado! Like, you knew, you know, like you culturally, you knew why some people had different customs and different ways of being, and it was just natural, and it was never something you questioned, never something you looked down on, never something you said they're different than I am. You're like, everybody's different from each other, and I know, and it doesn't bother me.
I was taken aback by a lot of people who were blown away by, and I don't mean to diminish what you do, but were blown away that there's this Indian Montreal dude who speaks all of these languages super well and understands the culture so deeply that he can joke about them. They were like, it's like you were like a mirage.
People were like, it's a government experiment.
Multiculturalism or something.
Someone put this guy together and sent him here to ruin Quebec. There was a lot of that talk going on too.
But there was like that sort of surprise response that this existed in our culture, that you existed in our culture.
So many.
I found it surprising.
Yeah, and it wasn't anything that was planned. Like, it wasn't planned. It was just a natural, and that's what I love about it. I'd always come back to it. Learn our language. Thank you very much.
You guys like to catch up?
Thank you.
I'm okay.
Enjoy. Thank you.
You stoked about going to France?
For sure. I feel like, for me, it's not a market I want to give up on, you know, and I've always loved it, and I've always been curious about it, and when I went there and I tried it, I just felt like, okay, this is a market that I think I'm going to fall in love with, and I'm already pumped, and I'm already excited about writing for it.
And how about life outside of Montreal, living somewhere else?
Oh, well, that's definitely going to be tough, because what I'll miss about here, I can tell you right away, is number one, the space, you know?
You mean literally having room?
Literally having room, like, you can't sit like this in France. In Paris, everything's like super small like this. The portions, like, okay, this is an American style breakfast. Look at this, look at these portions. You don't get these kind of portions. You don't get eggs in France. For breakfast, they bring you un petit salade au quinoa avec des concombres. And you're like, okay, where's the rest? Like, that's it? And like, how much? 28 euros. You're like, well, I'm gonna go bankrupt eating like this. I gotta order 5 of these to fill up. I'm gonna miss that. What I do like about Paris is you get to walk everywhere. I was walking everywhere, and you literally can't do that here. It's a problem here too in terms of the construction, because you always gotta have, in Montreal, you gotta have 4 plans to get home, and usually 3 out of 4 won't pan out. So you gotta have a plan A, B, C, and D.
Not to sound corny, but you've sort of transcended, in the last couple of years in this city, you've transcended comedy. This is what modern Montreal is now. Somebody who doesn't make distinctions between languages and cultures and all of that stuff. And I think it's been a boost to the city. And I'm just wondering whether a guy like you publicly pronouncing that I'm going to give France a shot might be like, no, our boy's abandoning us.
No, I think people know I'll never abandon Montreal, and they'll know that I think a lot of people are proud of the fact that I've done what I had to do, and then I'm trying something else as well. I think artistically you need to do that too.
Just because you need a new challenge.
New challenge, yeah. You need a new challenge. You need to, have other. You need to add dimensions to your career, but it doesn't mean I'm not coming back. That's for sure. I'd love to come back, but I want to come back with new ideas. I want to come back with something new for the people who've seen this show. It's like an artist coming back with a second album a little too quick. We've all noticed that in the music world or in the film world, where the sequels always they didn't really put effort into it. They just wanted to cash in.
Your bar is going to be high.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want to do that. I'd want to come back when I'm ready and when the show's ready. I don't want to do it just to do it. I'd rather wait and go do something else and then come back when. And I want Montrealers to keep being proud of me,
But were you cognizant in the hurricane of all of this success? Were you cognizant that it had taken on more of a life than just a very successful comedy show? That there was more riding on it for maybe not for you, but for a lot of people?
Yes and no, because I remember before the premiere, my only pressure is to make it funny, My only pressure is to make it funny. But I remember a friend calling me, a friend who was like, pretty much in the industry, and saying, that this show needs to be a success, don't you? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, critically and commercially, this needs to work because you put yourself out there. You really put your whole career on the line right now. And I never saw it that way. I was like, man, I just want to do a show. I just want to perform. Is that all right?
It seems to everybody who's sort of known you from back in the day that you really seem like the same guy. Yeah. Like you don't put on airs, like you're not walking around with an entourage and sunglasses. And
I'm not that guy. I'm supposed to be. I'm the guy. I'm me. And me is the guy from Côte des Neiges who still bargains, looks for a deal, and still shops in Côte des Neiges because he knows t-shirts will be $3 and $1 on Boxing Day. And I'm still the guy who it's like, I see my parents every day. I call them every day. And
do they ground you?
Oh, they ground me without even knowing it. My parents don't drive, so my mom always makes a list of things I got to pick up for them. And there are times where like, okay, can you take me to Metro or IGM? I'm like, okay, why? And she's like, well, I can't pick up all this stuff on my own. I'm like, okay, no problem. And she's like, oh, but we also have these bottles and these cans that we got to return. So can we put all these in a garbage bag? And listen, I'll start doing the groceries. You put the cans in the machine. And I'm there with 3 garbage cans full of empty Coke cans and Diet Coke cans, putting them in the machine. People are walking by and going, isn't that Sugar Sammy? And I'm like, hi. And they're like, he needs a new agent. And I was like, no, things are bad. And I thought he was doing well. And so that kind of stuff. And it's a pleasure to just continue to be normal and do that.
Way before these shows for your comedy for years, kind of a through line towards your sort of comic persona was that you're a player, ladies. Yeah. Now, from what I hear, and I don't want to blow up your spot, but I hear that you're with a lady and have been for a while now, and but you're liking being in a relationship.
I love being in a relationship.
You don't miss a lot of the craziness from back in the day?
Listen, I'm hitting 40. I'm going to be 40 next year. I don't want to be the old guy at the club anymore. Like, that's it. For 5 years, you're the old guy in the club, Even now, like, if you're 40 and you're out past 1 a.m., you got to reevaluate your life.
So life is good.
Life is good. Life is fun. Life is simple, and that's how I like to keep it. My life is, I think, as simple, or not even simpler than it was before, because I think what success affords you is the choice to keep your life simple, and I like that. Like, there's nothing I like more than taking a walk with my girlfriend and getting a bagel and coffee, and that's a great day,
Thanks, man. Thanks for taking the time.
No,
it's nice that
we're having a good time.
Nice that we can just chill,
Yeah, no, it's good. I love chilling.
Thank you.